how I overcame my crash. So I got a great question from one of my YouTube viewers, love you guys, Rami, who wrote in to say, "Hi Evan, I totally agree. Right now I'm going through it and it's effing hard. Would you please share in more detail your crash and how you overcame it? Thanks." Rami is getting deep. He's getting personal today. Yeah, happy to share my story, and it's painful. Every time I go back to that part in my life, it's really painful. And starting the business is brutally hard, and you will crash, and you will doubt yourself, and you will feel like, you know, you want to go and get a job. It's something nobody really talks about, but it happens. It happens to everybody. And so even just knowing that you're not alone can help. So my story, you know, I turned down opportunities to work with huge companies that I wanted to work with only a couple years prior, and to do that I turned them down to go work on my business. And I wasn't earning a lot at my business. You know, I'm earning $300 a month. My day to day was basically, I would wake up, I would go to my partner's house, his apartment, and we'd work. He would work in his office and cut code, and I would work on his dining room table and work on my laptop. And that was basically every single day. And I would pack my lunch, and I would bring beans for lunch because it was super cheap and super filling, and put some, olive oil and salt and some herbs on it and spices to make it a little more exciting, because I couldn't afford to do anything more. My friends would invite me to come out to a birthday party or to go have drinks with them, and I had to pick like one thing that I could do each month because I couldn't afford, $20 to go and have a drink or dinner with them. And I was too nervous, too ashamed, too embarrassed to tell people the truth. Obviously my business partners knew what was happening. They weren't in a great situation either, but my friends, I was the one who turned down the big dream job that they wanted, and I was living the entrepreneurial life, so I didn't want to say, hey guys, I can't afford to come to dinner with you tonight or to go see a movie. And instead, I just said I was busy. I had work to do, and made up some excuse for why I couldn't see them. And eventually that takes its toll on you, right? Like, how long can you go sucking and not getting results? And I, up until that point, I felt like I was good at what I did. The stuff that I applied myself to took off. If it was schoolwork or projects, whatever it is, I knew, if I put in the work, I could get better results. I believed in myself, I had confidence, and here I was trying all this stuff and nothing was working out. And it took its toll on me, and I felt like I deserve better than this, this should work, we're smart people, we have a good product, we're not just trying to rip people off, we're trying to do good, we're trying to help solve diseases, why isn't it working? What am I missing here? And it was so frustrating. And I remember the big crash came when I was at a family event. I was at my parents' house, and I forget what the event was, Christmas or Thanksgiving. And I was in an argument with my business partner over the direction to take the business. When you're not making any money, it's like you get desperate, and you have different visions, and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I survive, right? Like, I'm tired of eating beans every day. And so we got into disagreement over where we should take the business, how we should grow it. And I was so frustrated and so fed up that I told him that I quit. That's it. I can't do this anymore. It's too much for me. I feel like crap. I feel like I'm not adding any value. My self-worth is like in the toilet. I can't do this anymore, man. Like, this is, do whatever you want with the business. I can't do this anymore. I quit. And I hung up the phone, and I just cried. I cried for 20 minutes. I don't know if I've cried so hard ever. Stuff was coming out of my nose, my eyes. It's just uncontrollable. It was a combination of, me saying that I quit. I didn't think I was a quitter, and that really frustrated me. But also, like, all this work that had gone into making this thing, it's like serious effort. every single day and not seeing results and just giving up on it felt like such a waste. And I didn't want to feel like that. And so I was just bawling my eyes out, and my mom heard me from downstairs, and she came up and she put her hand on my shoulder, and I don't even, she was talking to me, I have no idea what she said. You know, I was so lost in my world that I didn't know what she said. And I slept over with them that night, and you know, tried to sleep, tossed and turned, and couldn't really sleep well. And the next day I just got up and decided, you know, like, I gotta find a way to make this work. Like, this is crazy. I can't give up on this. It's too important. And the spark that took off was realizing then that, okay, you know what? I had to find another way to do this. I had to find another way to stand. I had to find another way to make this happen, because how we were doing it, it's not working, right? Like, this is not working. I need to find another way. If we're gonna make this thing happen, I need to find another way. And that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm not the first person to try to sell software before. And I looked at Microsoft and Bill Gates, and looked at McAfee, I looked at Intuit, I looked at other software companies and how they got started, you know, 0 to 1. How did they go from their idea to making their first million? Like, how did they start? Because, man, I was open to anything at that point. You know, if you told me that if I wore this special necklace, it would help my business, I would wear that necklace, you know, like anything. I was rock bottom, feeling so low, I would try anything. And it actually ended up working. Like when I had my first, you know, the strategy that I got from Microsoft was partnerships. Find somebody who's already selling to your market and partner with them. And when I applied that and I got my first deal a couple weeks later, you know, that first deal was $13,500, which, you know, that's not a lot of money, but for us, that was, you know, wow, money, you know, like validation, progress, momentum of any kind is finally here, you know, and that one deal represented something that I can go and replicate. And from there, we built the business quickly and had customers in 30 countries and distribution around the world and big name clients, and got acquired 2 years later. And it was a rapid growth up, but man, it sucked at the bottom. So hard it sucked. And you know, luckily for me, my partners at the time didn't accept my resignation. You know, like when I came back the next day and just started working, we were just working again, and it wasn't, well, you know, you quit on me, so I'm, you know, you're not part of this anymore. Man, that was such a painful time. But, you know, what I hope can help you is understanding that everybody goes through this. And if you look at famous entrepreneurs, and this is what helped keep me motivated and keep me excited and keep me doing what I'm doing, and why I love helping entrepreneurs now, is you look at these famous entrepreneur stories and they all struggled at the start, right? Very few of them just take off like that. They struggle with their ideas, they struggle with convincing people, they struggle because they have this vision, but their early products and services don't quite match it, they're not quite good enough, and all they're getting is negative feedback from the people around them, and they're not seeing momentum. So like, how do you keep going? In some instances for years, like years and years and years of continue to go and try and fail. How do you keep like doing that when you're not getting any results? And it really came down to them loving what they were doing and forcing it through and saying, I'm gonna make this a success. And that modeling success transformed my business, saved my company. And so that rapid growth of selling my business, then I got to the point where like, well, what do I want to do now? Like, I sold my business, I have nothing to do with my life. What do I want to do? And it came down to I really liked helping entrepreneurs, and I wanted other people to not have to suffer the crazy pain that I went through and almost quitting and feeling like at the total bottom of everything in my life. And I wanted to try to help people before they got there and give them hope and give them a belief in themselves and make them feel like they could do it, and give them not just the motivation but also the tools and knowledge and ideas to help them grow. And that's what continues to fuel me. That's like over a decade ago, and I'm still doing this. And so you know, I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to help entrepreneurs and to get the questions you guys have, and your support keeps me going, and your comments and your feedback. And that's it. I don't know. I have nothing else to say. Believe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for the question, bringing me back to really painful moments, but it's important to share. And if you like more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.